committed to taking that vitamin for the rest of your life. The day you stop taking it is the day the level starts going back down. So the problem with vitamin D is that it's in a lot of the foods that we eat, but your body does not metabolize or activate vitamin D until you get one important element, and that's called sunshine. So the sun helps to activate the vitamin D, but as you know, here in Michigan, we have a good three, maybe 3.5, 4 months of sunshine. The rest of the year is cloudy, raining, or snowing. So most of us should be on a vitamin D supplement. All right. So patients, especially older than 50, need to be aware of this. You can ask your doctor to test you for it and determine what the vitamin D level is. Because of our pigmentation, darker skin, it's harder for the sun to break through the skin and activate vitamin D. That's why you have to take the supplements. Most of the supplements are very inexpensive. You can buy those over the counter, unless you're really, really low, then the doctor can prescribe a high dose of vitamin D for a short period of time. So, what are some of the symptoms of vitamin D deficiency? Fatigue, muscle weakness, bone pain, especially the lumbar spine, the hips, the legs, low mood, depression, fatigue in terms of physical activity, and of course, increased risk for bone fractures. Um, Patients that are usually overweight are also high risk for vitamin D deficiency. Severe vitamin D deficiency can result in conditions that we haven't seen recently, but they used to be prominent back in the 30s and 40s, and that's rickets. Excessive vitamin D can result in kidney stones. So we talked about where vitamin D came from uh, in terms of foods, but let me be specific about which foods naturally have vitamin D, but still requires activation. Fish, especially salmon, tuna, mackerel, beef liver, cheese, and egg yolks. Most of the foods that we consume are fortified with vitamin D. That's all milk products, dairy products, breakfast cereal, orange juice, and yogurt. Now, there's two types of vitamin D, D3 and D2. D3 happens to be 3 times more potent than 2. One is animal based, the other one is plant based. So if you have a relationship with a physician that you see on a regular basis, ask him or her to check your vitamin D. Very, very important. Very important. So the next topic I want to talk about is one that I think for 44 years, every single day I see someone with this condition, and that's diabetes. Diabetes. So diabetes is a condition that disturbs your body or prevents your body from transferring the sugar from the blood into the cells that you normally need. So circulating blood sugar causes damage to multiple organs. There are two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 means you don't have insulin in your body or it's very poor quality. Those are usually diagnosed very early on, 10, 11, 12. Without insulin, these patients die. Type 2 diabetes, though, is the most common one that we see here in the United States. About 90% of patients have type 2. The body develops resistance because of the fat cells, which means the primary cause for type 2 diabetes is obesity. Correct. Correct. Right. So initially, when patients get the diagnosis of diabetes, very overwhelmed, a little frightened. They begin to ask questions like, why, how, and what? But despite the risk associated with diabetes, most people can lead an active life, productive life, enjoy certain foods. Uh, Diabetes doesn't mean that you have to end all the what we call special occasion foods, birthday, Christmas, Fourth of July. Everything is put. If you put everything into perspective, small amounts with exercise will go a long way than trying to sit down and eat a half a cake in one setting, right? So, for some reason, the ethnicity of being African American increases your risk of